Hello and welcome back to Buckle Up. I'm Harry King and this is a Hyundai Tucson. Of course you already know that because it's their best-selling model in the UK, and actually it's one of the best-selling cars in the UK. Let's find out why. So we'll start as usual at the front, where actually I can talk about one of my favourite things on this car, the lights. It's got fantastic light design. These here are the daytime running lights, and they are so unique. You instantly know a Tucson when it's driving down the road because nothing else is like this. It's so great, so identifiable, and it really feeds into the rest of the grille. And this is all a big proper grille with big holes in it even. And then actually your main headlights are down here, which means they're low and they don't dazzle oncoming drivers. Take note, Audi. Otherwise, we've got some interesting creases in the bonnet, which lead into much more interesting creases on the side. You've got all of this shaping and moulding and creasing on the side here. And what it does is it means that this isn't just another two-box C-segment crossover going down the road. This has its own unique style, and it's very noticeable in the car park or on the A road. It won't just blend in. The previous generation Tucson was a perfectly good car. It was very bland, and this has obliterated that image. I really like the way the side of this car looks. You've also got nice big two-tone alloy wheels. They're 19 inches on this model. You've also got some plastic body cladding to make it look a bit roughy-tufty and SUV-y, and you've got some integrated roof bars for your roof rack or roof tent if you're into that sort of thing. And then a nice little flash of silver that comes to some strakes down here. And then we come round here to the back where there's more of that interesting lighting design. So these fangs, I'll call them here, these are your brake lights. And then you've got a full light bar, 80s, which comes on with your headlights at night time. You've got the badges here and here, plug in, as it is a PHEV. What it doesn't say is Ultimate, which is the spec level, but let's take a look in the boot and see what it's like. You will notice as this goes up, the rear wiper is hidden under the spoiler at the back like a Range Rover. In here, you get 558 litres of space. This can go up as high as 616 if you get the HEV model. Weirdly, the HEV has slightly more capacity than the ICE version. Don't really understand that. But you do get a false 4. In this, there's not a lot of space under it because of the plug-in hybrid gubbins, but you do get space for your tyre mobility kit and a little cutout for your charging cables. So they're not just hanging about in the boot, which is really great because so many plug-in hybrids don't have a space for that. Good attention to detail. You've got a 12-volt socket in the side here, as well as some tie-down hooks. And you also have a manual release for your fuel filler flap, if you need it, if the battery's dead. I really like this parcel shelf, because it's got runners all the way along, so when you let it go, it just retracts by itself. That's quite nice. And you can fold down the rear seats with just some little levers in the boot, so you don't have to walk around or anything. And look, continuous load floor, nearly flat as well. Very, very practical, great for families, but will your family fit in the back seats? Let's find out now. So here we are in the back, and yes, I do think your family would be happy. It's big and airy in here. You've got this panoramic roof and this light headliner, that helps with that. There's also lots of width in the car, so I fit in this seat very comfortably, but 3 children would fit across this bench, no problem at all. In terms of luxuries back here, you've got heated seats, the buttons here on the door. You've got shades, that they are manual, and obviously the clips are a little bit fiddly at the top of the door, as I'm currently demonstrating. Come on. No whammies. There we go. Seamless. You've also got seat back pockets. You've got plastic seat backs, so that'll keep the car relatively tidy even when your kids are getting in and out in muddy rugby boots. You've got climate vents here with a temperature control, so that's a 3rd zone of climate, and 2 USB-A power ports, so lots of power for everybody's iPad. Lovely stuff. Also, you do have the ability to somewhat choose the, what's the correct word, reclination of the seat. This is maximum, but you can adjust it a little bit so you can be a bit more upright, and obviously that gives you slightly more space in the boot versus more comfort for the passengers. You can choose that balance yourself. Also, you can lift out just the middle seat and you get through loading if you want to go skiing, or you like to sell poles, or anything else that needs through loading. But it's all very good, actually. I'm very happy with the back of this car. So let's see if the front is just as pleasing. So here we are in the front, and just like a D-Ream song, things can only get better, apparently, in the Hyundai Tucson. So you've got plenty of soft touch around the cabin. I accidentally just turned the wipers on, oopsie. You also have this lovely big screen here with lots of functionality. You've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, obviously. You do also have an inbuilt satellite navigation system, which works quite well, as you can see. And there you go, finds it no problem at all. You've also got a really super big, luxurious center console, 2 cup holders, massive space down here for your phone with wireless charging, and 2 USB power ports, one of which is for the Android Auto, as well as a 12-volt socket. Huge cavernous center storage cubby. You'd fit loads of CDs in there if that was still a thing in cars, and a good sized glove box as well, though of course it's got the owner's manual in it. In terms of seats, they've got perforated leather, including a nice little pattern all the way up here just at the top, which looks quite nice, and they're very comfortable. They're both fully electric, both height adjustable, lots and lots of adjustment in general. They're also heated and cooled, which is lovely. Sunroof, it opens, which is always a nice feature. I'll close that again now though. And speaking of up on the headliner here, this is a feature I like. It's a nice bit of attention to detail. You know when you put your sun visor here when the sun's coming in from the side, but then you've got this little gap? Well, Hyundai have thought of that. Look, there's a little bit that comes out and covers the rest of the window. Isn't that good? It's good. I like that a lot. Climate is unfortunately haptic buttons, so it's not super intuitive when you're on the move. You've got to like lean down and kind of steady your hand on something, but you do actually get permanent controls that are always accessible, so you're not hunting through the screen to find them. On the steering wheel, which is again leather wrapped, you get your driving assists here. So this has all the Hyundai tech that we've seen on lots of their models. It'll steer for you. It's got advanced radar cruise control. It will also read the speed signs and will change your cruise speed if you've got it set up to do that, which can be a bit temperamental, but it's quite a cool feature. On the left hand side, you've got your usual audio controls and stuff. Auto wipers, auto lights, digital driver's cluster, which is configurable and it'll switch depending on what mode you're in. So all in all, I mean, it's got everything. It just has everything. This car starts from £30,000, and in this top specification, it can reach up to £45,000, which may sound like a lot of money, but I think this is just as nice and just as well equipped as its German rivals, as a Land Rover. And if you wanted one of those with specification in it like this, that's going to be more like £55,000 or more. So good value for money, great for families. It's got everything you need really in here, but does it drive well? Let's find out now. So driving the Hyundai Tucson PHEV. We'll start with some basic figures. It's 265 horsepower and it's 265 newton meters of torque, which are nice, easy numbers to remember. It's capable of driving around on battery power alone, though of course you won't get a lot of range from the battery by itself, especially if you're going on a motorway journey. It's also capable of charging its own battery, though only under certain conditions, and you can actually force its mode. You've got auto, HEV, or electric. I tend to leave it in HEV just because I've only got it for a week and I haven't bothered getting all the charging cables out. It's also got modes, the other one being Sport. So let's see what that's like. Put my foot down. Yeah, there we go. Little bit of curving on this road, and it's not bad at all. The damping actually is really well judged, especially for a British A or B road. It really smooths out the ride. It's very comfortable in here, but I'm getting a surprising amount of feel through the wheel and a surprising level of confidence with my turn-in. So I'll slow down for this road here, but I'll just show you, look, you can really kind of sling it through a corner and then put the power down, and thanks to that torque fill from the electric motors, there, I'm at the speed limit again. So you're not wanting for power at any point, and you're not wanting for a more comfortable ride either. It's actually really well judged for providing comfort while being actually surprisingly engaging. I would never expect that from a C-segment crossover, certainly a non-performance one, and until very recently I'd have never expected it from a Hyundai. But actually they're quite good at this car making thing. What else do you have? Well, the seating position's excellent. It's elevated, so you do feel the benefit of the taller form factor. I've got a view down over the bonnet, and I have a sort of more commanding view of the road ahead. It also gives me great visibility. All the windows are nice and big. I've got a great view out of the back. I've got really good sized door mirrors, and I do have a reversing camera. On this model, unfortunately, you do not get little screens in the gauge cluster that you sometimes get on Hyundai Kia products when you indicate to show your blind spots, and you don't get surround view cameras either. But I don't really need them. This isn't a particularly big vehicle, and I can see really well. The seat itself is super comfortable. It's very easy to get it in a good driving position. It's easy to get the steering wheel in a good position as well. There's lots of adjustment there, and it's relaxed, comfortable, really competent going down the road. And I've got the aircon set just so. I'll pop my ventilated seat on. That's such a nice touch of luxury, a ventilated seat, especially if you're going to go with a leather or leather-esque style material on the seats. It really helps to have them ventilated, because on a hot day, especially with a pan roof, say you forgot to put the blind over on your pan roof, it can be uncomfortable, can't it, getting into a car? And this just isn't. I think it's an important part of a family car is it needs to make everything as easy as possible, because it's already enough work having to get already yourself ready, and someone else has to get themselves ready, and then you've got miniature people that you have to make sure they're ready and they're safe and they're strapped in and they're in their, their seats, which go in the ISOFIX. Great ISOFIX in this car. You just push it through the seat, and you have to make sure you have space for everything. So you got space for your pacifiers or your wet wipes or cutlery for your picnic, and space for all your bottles in the doors or in the cup holders, all of that stuff, and somewhere for your sunglasses, somewhere for your phone. And this car addresses all of those concerns. There's a place for everything. It's easy to get everything done, and it will make your life as convenient and easy as it can be. It's just they've paid attention to everything that's actually important, and they've done it really well. And then yet still on top of that, it's got something of a Mondeo to it, because I can really hustle it through these corners, and it hangs on well, and it's actually fun to drive. I mean, it's not a sports car, it's not even a sports saloon, but it is engaging and rewarding to press on in this car. And it'll help, say you've had a hot hatch or like a Golf GTI or a Focus ST, and up until now that's had enough space and it's been okay for you to get your family around in, and now it's happened. You've decided you have to get a bigger car, a more practical car, and you think, oh God, my life's over. What am I going to do? I'm not going to have my nice, fun to drive car anymore. Well, actually, you can go into this segment and you can find a car that will be good to drive still, and will still have plenty of power. 265, I know it's not going to be as fast as a hot hatchback, but it'll get you down the road. There's loads of power for overtaking. Is there anything in here I think could be better? Well, I do miss those surround view cameras, but obviously that's a cost thing. Material quality is great, seats are comfortable, I've got all the tech I want. No, I think Hyundai have nailed it on this one, to be honest, and I think it's super obvious why this is such a high seller and why so many people want one of these on their driveways. I can totally see the appeal, and honestly, yeah. Well, let's conclude before I give anything else away. Right then, the Hyundai Tucson. Is it a fantastic family car? Yes, it is. Should you buy it? I'm going to be emphatic. Yes, you should. This is the best C-segment family crossover on the market today, including the luxury brands. This is the one I would buy with my own money, and I think you should too. So, do it. If this is what you need, go and buy one. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. You can find all of our social media links down in the description. You'll also find 3 ways to support the channel. We have Patreon, we have channel memberships where you can give a monthly amount or you can give thanks, and we have a merch store where you can buy cool merch and look just like your on-screen hero, Harry George Foreman Grill. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching again, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.